Andrew from Scotland, are you there?
I am indeed, sir.
Nice.
Hello.
Hey, good to hear from you.
Nice one. I called you before, and the last time I called you, I was talking about one step forward, two steps back. This time I'm calling you to ask you about what you think about the fact that I come from a...
Say again? That you come from what?
I was adopted, and the family I was adopted from, they know how to make money, but not store it and use it wisely. But the family I was adopted into, they know how to store money and treat it wisely. I know I'm starting to come into a little bit of money myself, and I wondered what your advice might be about that.
Oh, well, take the best thing from both of those families so that you can spend wisely and save wisely. I suggest.
Well, I think there's a little bit of a problem here because I don't like people who hoard money, and that's what the family who adopted me do.
Oh.
But I also don't like people who gamble away all their money, which is pretty much what my biology tells me to do whenever I've got money.
Because the family you were born into blows the money. I don't know if that's your biology, but I would say...
Well, I don't know if it's my biology either. That's why I'm asking you.
Right. I suggest there's another way between both of those things. There's a balance in hoarding and spending. We call it saving and spending wisely. There's a wise way. Are you pretty responsible?
No.
No? Well, try to be responsible. Really?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Are you doing JLP's silent prayer?
Of course. I've been doing that for about 2 years now.
And that hasn't helped you with being a little bit more responsible and even you out in terms of your habits and things?
Yeah, it certainly has helped me with some of my bad habits, but it's not helped me become more responsible, or else I wouldn't be calling you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I speak to quite a lot of people about this, and the only person I would really have spoke to about this would have been my stepdad, but he's dead. So, and I know what he would say. He would say, you've got to learn that money is actually not even money. You've got to learn that money is like a way to navigate through life correctly. And every time you get money, you just spend it. So you're not really navigating through life correctly, because every time you get money, the first thing you want to do is just spend it, the whole lot.
Wow.
And the most I can save is about £5,500. And as soon as I get to that marker, I'm like, I'm going to spend all this on me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you don't have the discipline to, let's say, I don't know if you guys have direct deposit in the old land in Scotland, but if you can you put it into an account that you just refuse to touch, put like 10%.
Yeah, that's why I'm sorry for interrupting you, but that's what I used to do. My dad was alive. I'd store it with him, and then every time I wanted to take a bit, my dad would ask me, what are you going to use this for? But even if I said, I'm just going to spend it all and I'm going to have a nice weekend and spend loads of money on myself, he'd still just give me it back, but he'd say, are you sure that you want to spend it all on you? And I'd say, yeah, and I'd just spend it all on me. But he said, you know, one day you'll have to learn how to deal with money. And now that I'm in my mid-40s and I'm starting to make a little bit of money that I want to keep.
Nice.
I don't really know how to do it. How to keep it and use it correctly.
It sounds like you're just out of control. Are you right? Is that accurate? It's not that you don't know how, because you know that you should save some of it, but you just can't help or you just haven't been able to help but just blow it every now and then. Every time you get 5,500 pounds or whatever.
Yeah, that's it. It's like I can actually save money up until the point where I've got enough to blow it, and then as soon as I've got enough to blow, then I blow the whole lot, every penny.
You get frustrated over that?
Yeah, that's why I'm calling you, sir.
That's part of the problem then, maybe. Because
Well, I'm getting frustrated.
yeah, because that's when you're blowing that money, that's for yourself, that's for your ego, that's for thrills, and that's a high. That's for chasing a high, and then when you have that high, you have this low of frustration, and just be even. I did this. Watch, this is funny, sort of. I busted my phone yesterday. I don't know if you can. You might not be able to make it out, but I broke my phone yesterday.
I'm not watching you because there seems to be a problem when I try and watch the show.
Oh, I'm glad you're not. Well, I'm just showing a cracked phone for the people who can watch. I broke this because I was at the gym and I was going to put my phone inside my bag. I opened my bag. I wasn't looking at what I was doing, though, and I dropped it. And I thought I dropped it into my bag, but after I dropped it, I heard this clack, 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 clack. And it was my phone, and it was on the floor. And I was like, oh, man. And I was tempted to be upset. I think I am / was a little bit upset about it. But there's no reason to be upset about that or about blowing your money because you're still taken care of. And maybe you have to pinch a little bit more. Maybe you have to, I don't know. You have to do this or that. Maybe you're making your life a little bit more inconvenient, but it should not unsettle you in your spirit inside, whether you spend that money or not. Just be.
Well, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I wanted to tell you a really quick story about my granddad because my granddad had this issue with money as well.
Yeah.
But then I got the chance to spend some time with my granddad, and we're both guitarists, and we played our guitars and that, and we had a good laugh and blah, blah, blah. But then my granddad showed me everybody thought that he'd spent all his money, but he didn't. What he'd actually done was he'd invested it all in guitars, and guitars only appreciate in value.
Oh, cool.
So he actually hid his money as opposed to wasted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he didn't tell any of the family members. All the family members thought that he'd sold his own house and all that because he was a heavy drinker.
Yeah.
And they thought he'd spent it all on alcohol. But in actual fact, he'd invested in guitars, which he was also keeping for himself. You know what I'm saying? When I see there's enough money for me to blow it, I want to spend it all on me. And my granddad was doing the same thing, but he was so sneaky that he held all the guitars, and he actually probably had about, I don't know, £150,000 worth of guitars in his house, and nobody even knew that he had them. That's how secretive he was about it.
Maybe you can, rather than blow all of it, maybe you can invest some of it because there's an other alternative to saving. This is just a practical thing. I gave you what I think is like spiritual advice, which is don't get upset. Or if you are upset, catch yourself being upset. Just watch. And
yeah, I agree with that part. I'm with you there, sir. I'm with you up to this point.
And so another practical thing, rather than just saving it, some of it you should save and keep the cash ready for an emergency or for an opportunity to invest. But maybe there's something that you can invest in, because it sounds like your grandpa or somebody invested in the guitars and made money off of that, or increased the value of what he had based on that. But maybe there's some type of thing that you can invest in. Or maybe you can start a business rather than go on vacation. Since you're in your 40s, you don't need to be going on vacations. You're still young and strong, and you can start a business or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've already started a business.
Nice.
And I am investing because I know that the only way out of this is to learn how to invest. The issue that I've got here is the only thing that I can invest in is myself. But the problem is when I invest in myself, then I spend all the money.
Yeah. And then when you spend the money, you're mad, right? You're a little bit frustrated.
Yeah.
You feel guilty or whatever.
Oh, yeah, no, I get really angry. I've had problems with the police and everything just because I've spent all my money.
Don't fall into that trap.
No, I don't
That's
fall
the-
into it anymore. That's why I'm talking to you.
So you're not angry anymore? You're not angry about blowing your money anymore?
No.
Nice.
No, I'm not angry about it anymore. I'm just, I find it such a complicated thing for me. And it reminds me of my biological mother, my biological granddad, and I watched how they behave with money, and I've just fallen into the same trap as them.
I have another
people who adopted me. Okay.
I have another idea about what may be holding you back a little bit. You have this idea that because your family is this way, you're kind of stuck this way. But if you don't believe those ideas, that may help you, because sometimes people fall into these doubts, these beliefs that they cannot shake this or that thing. Like they literally, I remember JLP telling one time that he didn't think that he could live without having sex. And so he was always having a girl. He always had a girlfriend. And
I remember. I remember him discussing.
That's a belief that that held him back in life, because he believed that he needed this thing. So too, it might be that you're believing that you can't help but blow this money and it's complicated, when in reality it's not complicated, and you're just believing thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%, but it's easier said than done when you got used to this sort of behavior, because it's not once that
I get you.
I've done it like 10 times, and I've stored up this money, and one of the reasons I store it up is for dental health, because I'm actually a musician, and you've got to be able to smile nice when you're a musician and so on.
Nice.
But every single time I get the money and I store it up and I'm ready to do the right thing, the first thing that comes to my brain is I'm just going to spend it. Honestly, it literally comes into my brain and spend it. Spend it now.
That's one of those thoughts that you have to doubt. And let's say you don't doubt that thought and you spend it. Don't doubt the next thought to be mad about it, to be frustrated about it. Don't doubt the next thought that you won't be able to stop it the next time. Stay present. I totally get you that once you cross those lines, and you've done it, you made a habit out of it. It's a mental thing, but it's all in your head. It's all mental, man.
Yeah, I know it is, man. I know it is. I just needed to hear another person say it. That's why I called you up.
I appreciate it. It's a great topic.
Yeah, well, it's one that I'll give you just a last little bit of information on this.
Okay.
I work on a Christmas tree farm, and every year, before you guys get your Christmas trees, little gnomes like me have to do the work to bring you your Christmas tree.
Awesome.
But this is the time of year where I make this 4 or 5 times what I make the rest of the year every day.
Seasonal.
And this is when I spend all my money.
Okay, yeah.
It's the only time that you make your money. You make your money at a thing called the harvest, and you go from making about £13.50 an hour, which would be about, I don't know, $16 or $17. It goes from that all the way up to £40 an hour. So you're into the big money.
Based.
And then I spend it.
Yeah.
I don't spend it on Christmas presents. I spend it on me.
Right. I mean, you shouldn't spend it on Christmas presents either. Don't fall for that one.
No.
I mean, unless you want to.
I never fell for that one.
Right.
No, I class Christmas as payoff season. I pay off my sisters. I pay off mom and my dad's dead, but I pay off everybody. And I say, what is the number of the money this year? And my mum says it's £15 for everybody. I say, fine, give them 30 because I don't even remember people's birthdays. And I just pay off my family every Christmas. So
that's funny.
Christmas costs me £290
so you are giving money. You're giving away money to your family like that. You don't necessarily have to do that, man. Don't do it out of guilt anyway.
No, I didn't do it out of guilt. I'm just paying. I'm paying off these people because they've decided that Christmas is a time where everybody gets a little payoff. So I'm more than happy to give you £30.
But wait a minute,
to you
they
anymore.
decided it. It doesn't sound like you decided in your heart.
No, my mum decided it because my mum said, my mum's a very tight woman with money.
Nice.
That's why these people can hold money.
Yeah.
And she says, we've made the Christmas presents £15, so that's all anybody spends on each other. And I says, well, that's fine, because I don't care about people's birthdays either. So I'll just pay everybody £30, and then every Christmas, that's your payoff for Christmas and your birthday. But I don't even know my little sister's birth dates or anything.
Funny.
I don't care about that stuff.
What would happen
But
if you didn't give? What would happen if you didn't give them anything?
Well, last year I decided not to give them anything funny, you should ask.
Yeah.
And what I said is, next time I see you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a fair appraisal. And my little sisters, I only paid them £20 because they turned 40 this year. And I said, this is a payoff. And next time I see you, I am going to irritate you about how much you don't like getting old. So that's why I paid them off.
But so you still gave them something eventually, or you promised to give them something eventually?
No, I never made them any promises.
Oh, okay.
I recognised it was their 40th birthday, they're twins, and I told them, here's 20 quid, and next time we talk again, I'm going to spend all the time irritating you about how much you're scared of being old.
Wow. Dang. It sounds like you have an antagonistic relationship with your sisters.
I have an antagonistic relationship with every single person I've ever met. You can laugh at me as much as you want.
I'm not laughing at you. But that's funny. I mean, it's funny, but it's reality. Well, then don't give them anything, man. It sounds like you just. Anyway.
Exactly. Honestly, that wasn't not the subject matter I wanted to talk about.
And no, I know, but it sounds like money comes in. Money is involved even in your family. Let go of this fake responsibility to give to your family, and let go of the fake idea that you can't beat this because it's in your blood, or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's not a hereditary problem. It's a problem of the mind.
Yeah, and a lot of people never overcome that stuff. But hey, let's say you never overcome it. You're a working man. You're keeping your dental health. Your dental health means your heart's going to do okay. Don't worry about the future. Because worrying is only going to make you worse. And it'll mess up your health.
That because I'll worry myself into an early grave if I keep up this.
Right, or you'll worry yourself into debtor's prison because you're going to get bad health. You might not die, but you get bad health, and then you have to blow a bunch of money on health stuff. And you won't have that saved money. But worrying is no good.
I completely concur with you on that.
You've lived a comfortable life so far, right?
Oh yeah, I've been.
Then,
it was a blessing. Adopted. So
No, but money-wise, you have not hurt for money, really.
No, sir, never.
Yeah. So then, don't worry. Don't worry about the fact that in the past you have blown money, and don't worry about the possibility that in the future, because it doesn't even exist yet, you may blow more money. And don't worry in the midst of blowing money when you find yourself blowing money. Stop it if you can, which you can. But if you don't worry about that either.
Okay, well, thank you for that. And I always like to leave any decent conversation on a positive note.
Sounds good.
And this is how I've worked out to do it lately. So, can I ask you, what are your 3 favorite songs?
Yes. My Bike by Goaty Hook, Queen Maggot by 90 Pound Wuss, and Softly and Tenderly by LN.
Nice. That was the fastest answer I've ever had to your top 3 favorite songs.
Nice, man.
I wasn't even able to catch up with you. My 3 favorite songs at the moment are James Morrison. He's a guy from England, and he says he's got a song called "You Give Me Something," and it's about romance and that. But it's a beautiful song. and I always love Whitney Houston songs. But my favorite one of hers is the one where she's talking about standing alone. Like, the greatest love of all is the love inside of you, or something like that. Can't remember.
Right on.
The third one is a lady called Gabrielle from England, sorry, and she's never really penetrated the American charts, but you should check her out, and she's called Gabrielle, and one of her songs is called Rise, and that's a beautiful song.
Cool, man. Well, thank you. Classy.
No, thank you. Keep your time.
Take care, Andrew. Let me know how it goes. I'm interested. After the busy season.
Yeah, exactly. I'll see what happens when I gain this £5,000, and I'll tell you if I manage to keep it this time. All right.
Sounds good, man. Take care.
Thank you for your time.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye. Andrew in Scotland. Hake and his obscure music. Right on. He had 3 classy lady singers, even though one was called a crack at one point, because she lived a mess of a life. So many of us do. Not good.